Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Dells Chamber Community Affairs. This bright, amazing, springy morning out there. It's gorgeous out there. You need to go out and look at the mountains. They're absolutely breathtaking. I drove yesterday from Redmond to here, and it was absolutely gorgeous both ways. And you could see all the mountains yesterday. It was so cool. Sunset was amazing. So today our guests are Teri Brown with ODHS. She has a special and unique job that she does there that helps our workforce and helps with intern programs and such, and getting information out to the businesses. So Teri will be talking here today also. And then our other guest is Susana Fernandez. And actually Susana Flores. She has Fernandez on her work source. I was like, wait a minute, that's the wrong one. So Flores, she has been such a key person here with WorkSource Oregon and has come to many of our events. And she's even done a lunch and learn type of a atmosphere, just educating our businesses on what those services are. So we're always looking for ways that we can get that information out to more of our employers. It's crazy amount of benefits. I'm totally behind both these organizations and what they do for our workforce and our businesses. So those are our guests. So meanwhile, we're going to go around the room and introduce ourselves so that our guests know who's in the room and which organization they represent. And if they promise to keep it short, they can say something about what's happening if there's special events with their organization. So I'm going to start off with Dave Peters.
Good morning, Dave Peters, Columbia Cascade Housing, Mid-Columbia Housing Authority. We do both the HUD voucher program, and we also have about 450 now apartments in the Gorge. And we're just starting to try to get home ownership options available. So we're working on that right now. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave. Phil Brady. Sorry, I waited till you took a bite. Sorry, Phil.
Thanks, Phil Brady, Wasco County Commissioner. And you're right, it's a beautiful day. I can see the mountain out the window here. So I'm going to go skiing right after we finish this and have some fun on the mountain.
Enjoy.
Events coming up just for fun. Baseball season is starting, and Saturday I'm going to be working with the Little League kids and adults and do a cleanup on Kramer Field. To brag about that a little bit and beg for the Little League folks, they're the ones who are organizing this. Well, there's going to be a state tournament this year in the Dalles for the first time in quite a few years, thanks to getting the little Kramer Field back in shape. Looking forward to it. I'm going to go off screen because I'm eating breakfast before I get up to the mountain.
Sounds good. Thanks,
But
Phil.
I'm paying close attention.
All right. I know you are. Corliss Marsh.
Good morning, everyone. Corliss Marsh here with Habitat for Humanity, the library, and the senior center. I have no updates today. Looking forward to the presentation.
All right, great. Thank you. Scott.
Good morning, everyone. Scott McKay, Community Liaison for Circles of Care, which is an initiative plus. And for people's information, there is a Age Plus has been advocating for House Bill 3497, which is having a public hearing today down in Salem. And it's to set up a task force to develop a comprehensive multi-sector plan on aging to address issues of housing and health and workforce and caregivers. And there was another one that we're going to look at. But it's to bring together all the different parties, both government, local government, and the private sector and the public sector to deal with the demographic changes that we all know that are coming this way, where older adults will be more older adults than there will be children 17, 18, and under 18. So that's a significant change that's going to happen. And in order to prepare for that, sponsoring Senate Bill 3497. And that does deal with the idea of workforce and how to take advantage of older adults who may want to unretire and continue working for both the satisfaction and also both the income. So thank you.
Scott. All right. Jennifer Zimmerly, did you want to say good morning? There you are.
Morning, everybody. Excuse my casual acquire. It's Oregon Day up at the hospital. We're celebrating all things Oregon. So we have everybody wearing their Oregon gear, whether it's their favorite team sports or their favorite location. They're going to submit wonderful Oregon photos for a contest. And then tomorrow is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Day, and we're going to have the giant colon up at the hospital if anybody wants to stop by and see the colon from 11 to 1. But meanwhile, it's always important to just educate our staff about the importance of colon cancer. So that's what's happening at the hospital this week. Super exciting.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'm waiting to see videos from tomorrow. Just do that.
It's a blast, and we have a really cool colon cancer survivor story we'll be launching probably on Monday, which I'm super excited about too.
Awesome. We love the victories. So thank you for all you guys do up there. Appreciate it. So with that, I am going to turn it over to our guests, Teri Brown and Susana Flores. And it looks like they have one of their team members, Misa, also with them. And I'm going to let you take over. Here's what I will do for you. I'm going to watch the screen and watch the chat. So if there's questions, I'm going to try to catch you when you take a breath and interject that question so that we get it maybe asked during the time that it's relevant. And if not, I will try to grab them at the end if I missed them. Our group is very good about just asking because they do really want to be informed. So we will go with that. And okay. David must have undid and he's coming back in. So let me make sure. Hang on just 1 second before you guys start. Okay, I think we're all good. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, amazing women with some awesome organizations that do truly help our workforce and our businesses.
It is ironic, Jennifer, that you talked about that because I'm actually sitting in the hospital because my husband is having his colonoscopy today. So I am coming to you from Grand Ronde Hospital and I'm looking at the eagle caps right now. So not the same mountain, but it is beautiful here as well. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen if I can remember how to do it. Where is it? I don't use Zoom as much anyway. Oh, share. The green button that says share, that would be it. And it did not come up. Let me look again. There we go. Do you see it?
Yes, it is starting to share. So you are ready to put your whatever
Perfect.
screen has. There you go. You got it, girl.
Perfect. I went back and forth on whether I was going to share this or not because basically I just want to have a conversation, but I thought it would help keep me on track, right? So vocation,
Teri,
yes?
it looks like you have a couple blocks of color on there that are gray.
Uh-huh. That would probably be, nope,
Do you
that was
just
the
want
wrong
to
one.
bring your other thing forward?
Yeah. I just brought you guys forward.
Okay,
Let's try it again.
try clicking your mouse on your what you're sharing and see if that brings it forward. No, you just got it.
Over the top. No, you guys are still.
There's just color blocks covering your thing. Tell you
Well, the
what,
color blocks are usually the strip that shows your picture.
oh, okay.
Did one go?
Yep, one went away.
All right. Now let's
That's
try
good
the.
enough. We can see your thing now.
Okay.
There's still
All right.
some there, but oh, that's much better.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I was trying to put it on slideshow, but every time. Oh. See, I should have just went with my gut and not done that. There we go. I think we got it. So vocational rehabilitation is a state program. It is state and federally funded, and it provides no-cost services to business and job seekers. I think it's important to note that we have a dual client model. So we help people with disabilities obtain employment, and we also help businesses with their workforce needs. Like I said, it's no cost services. We are under the ODHS umbrella, but we are our own program. So we help businesses recruit qualified job seekers who experience disabilities. We have business coordinators, which is myself and Misa, who I will be introducing. We have counselors who work direct services. So they work directly with people who experience disabilities. And then we contract with job coaches and developers. I'm sure you've all heard of CAS in your area, Community Action Services. They are one of the entities that we contract with for job developers and job coaching. So what is our role? We develop long-term partnerships with businesses. We uncover employment opportunities, and we collaborate with a huge number of workforce partners. And developing the long-term partnerships is really our goal. And it's not about us going in and just trying to get you to hire someone. We have a lot of community building activities that we do, especially with youth. And we put together job shadows. We work with internships. That's actually Misa's specialty. We do mock interview events, informational interviews, and we try to connect, especially students in that transition period, with businesses that they are interested in working at. And that helps both businesses and the community, because without a really strong community, businesses aren't as dynamic, right? So these are some of the things that we can do for businesses: hiring guidance, retention, events. We help with recruitment, accessible recruitment. I have done many trainings, disability trainings in the gorge, up and down the gorge, and that can be virtual or in person. And it talks, some of them really focus in on how it makes good business sense to hire people with disabilities. And then we talk about reasonable accommodations. We can consult with that. And disability in your workplace. One of the things that people don't know is that 1 in 4 adults have some sort of disability. So it's not so much, it's not when you work with someone with disabilities, you're already doing that. You just probably don't know it. And then we are a resource and can refer to other subject matter experts. And I'm going to flip this over because it shows. These are some of our workforce and community partners. And Susana will talk more about the WIOA and how we fit in with that. But these are just some of the people that we have access to and that we work with. I've known Lisa now for a couple of years. She's always been very, very open about having us come in and talk about what we do. And I'm going to miss her because one of the reasons I asked Misa in is we are going through a regional realignment. So instead of 13 counties, I will only have 10. And unfortunately, Hood River and Wasco won't be one of them. I will miss spending time in your community. But I did want to introduce Misa Olson. She is in Central Oregon, and she will be serving Wasco and Hood River counties. You want to say hi, Misa?
Hi.
We're actually going to come to the Dalles toward the end of March and introduce her to some of the people that I have been working with there. So we're not just going to send out an email. We actually want to talk to people. So, and I'm going to hand it over now to Susana. Okay, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
Yay.
Okay, great. So let me start on my side here. Screen. I just have a short presentation. Can you see it okay?
Yes, we can.
Yes, okay, great. My name is Susana Flores, and I work with the Oregon Employment Department, specifically its partner agency, WorkSource. WorkSource is a statewide partnership through the Oregon Employment Department. We provide employment and training services to job seekers and employers in Oregon. We respond to workforce challenges through high quality services and high quality services to job seekers and employers in hopes of resulting in better job attainment, retention, and advancement. A part of our services goes into career services, specifically for job seekers and community members. First and foremost, our first goal is to register job seekers on iMatch Skills, where a job seeker comes into a WorkSource center, they get a one-on-one career coach, and they're able to go through an assessment and be displayed the available resources that will help that individual. Usually once a job seeker comes into our WorkSource center, they're offered opportunities to either find their next career, find temporary employment, or get introduced to internships, apprenticeships, and on-the-job trainings. We also partner with a college, specifically Columbia Gorge Community College, to introduce them to GED programs and college courses that will help them advance. Ideally, when someone comes in and they want to be introduced to the next career, we're able to offer them workshops on resumes, interviewing, and more. And this will also help us connect how business services works in our areas. We are able to connect them to employers and resources that they might otherwise not be introduced to that will help them obtain employment. Our WorkSource Center covers 5 counties, so we work in Wheeler, Gillum, Sherman, Wasco, and Hood River. I specifically work in business services. This is specifically offered to employers, and my goal is to conduct outreach and register employers on iMatch Skills. iMatch Skills is the state of Oregon's job board where you're able to post jobs at no cost, and it is a recruiting source that you're able to use. When a business posts on iMatch Skills, you can post what we call a self-referral. You just post as you would on Indeed or any other platform. However, iMatch Skills does offer more resources for you as an employer, such as recruitment planning and support. I specifically will open up a job listing and see what I can do to help you in promoting that employment. And we have our team here at WorkSource that we can share the details with. On the talent sourcing and recruiting end, we're able to post your listing, promote it on different platforms, and source talent through iMatch Skills and through those that come in through our center. I like to call it like an in-person Indeed, even just because so many people do come through our center of all different, with all different experiences and different needs as it comes to employment, which
I specifically try to understand what an employer needs. I conduct on-site visits to understand the culture, to understand the challenges, and come back and find the best fit for that job. Through those site visits, we try to identify possible tax credits and federal bonds. And this is in hopes that you're going to hopefully prioritize hiring those that have barriers to employment. We also help establishing apprenticeships, internships, and the trainings, which are the ones that we end up introducing to job seekers when they come into the center. I am also able to coordinate hiring events and introduce you to job fairs in our area. Right now, we are coordinating a job fair. It's a college and career expo at Columbia Gorge Community College on April 18th. And all employers are able to register. Today is actually the last day, but you can set up a booth and share your employment opportunities with job seekers and high schoolers that same day. We also offer layoff aversion and rapid response. And what this means is we have layoff aversion if you are possibly on the verge of closing or closing your business or having to lay off workers. We're able to introduce the Workshare program where you can keep skilled employees during the slow times. You reduce their hours, and we're able to supplement the rest through unemployment insurance. On rapid response, what that will look like for employers is our WorkSource team will come to you during a closure of business, I would say, and we will introduce WorkSource resources to your employees to help facilitate that transition from being laid off and moving into a next career. I want to get into the tax credits a little bit that we offer, just because that is one thing that most employers are very curious about. The Workforce Opportunity Tax Credit, you can get a tax credit that ranges from $1,500 to $9,600 for every qualifying new hire. This is to help you attract certain targeted groups that face significant barriers to employment. And the targeted groups include recipients that use TAMP, qualified veterans, qualified ex-felons, vocational rehabilitation referrals, summer youth program recipients. And we do have a longer list that I can send a link to you guys. And I see that Phil has a question.
Yes,
before I move
thank you.
forward. Yeah.
Excuse me if I missed this already. Does this include language barriers for non-English speakers or limited ability speakers?
It's not on the list specifically for those that experience language barriers, but I believe there are resources that we can help with through our partnerships. I don't have that right now. That's actually the first time I've been asked that, but I can definitely figure that out for you and help you find the resources that would be available for those that do have a barrier to the languages.
Thank you.
We also have federal bonding programs, and this is something that we work with closely with our workforce board, East Cascade Works. We focus on the federal bonding program for those that face barriers to employment due to their backgrounds. We provide support for those justice involved individuals and help them secure employment and stay employed. It protects you as an employer against the losses caused by possible fraudulent or dishonest acts by the employee. And the bond has a $5,000 limit with 0% deductible and covers the first 6 months of the individual's employment. It's a unique incentive tool for you, and ideally, we want to promote employment for those that otherwise wouldn't be able to apply due to their backgrounds. This is something that looks different for every business, so I definitely recommend you reach out to me. We customize a lot of our services to each employer as you each face different challenges. And I do want to remind everyone that this is at no cost to any employers that work in our area. Like I said, we work in all 5 counties in this region. You do have to have an Oregon BIN and federal identification number to register with iMatch Skills, but that is another resource that I am here for to help you obtain. This is my contact information, and we can dive further into each of these resources. And I really wanted to kind of go through it really quickly so we could have an open discussion about it, as I'm sure each of you will have different questions.
Susanna's been awesome. And some of the ways that we work together is if 20% of my time I work on behalf of clients. So I work with businesses and I do services for clients. So if I have a client who's interested in tech, I will shoot Susanna an email and say, do you have any openings, or do you even know someone who might do an informational interview? Or if I put together an industry tour, I always invite my business services people. And those are just some of the ways that we work together. And yeah, VR clients do qualify for that work opportunity tax credit. Misa, did I leave anything out that you can think of?
I don't think so. I do have a quick question though. I was madly looking through my calendars and emails to make sure I didn't miss it. But how did you get the information out regarding the career fair that's the 18th to the businesses?
So I emailed it to businesses that we had available, and Jessica Griffith Connor, who is actually coordinating the career and expo fair, was able to share it all online as well.
Okay. We don't have it. I didn't have this on my radar. It's not even on our community calendar. So I know you said today's the last day for businesses to register.
Yeah.
Is it possible you can send me, and I can do a massive email
Yes.
to our businesses actually who are members? I don't know if that got to all of our businesses. They need to know so that, because they're all looking for help.
Yes, definitely.
So if you can get that to me, we can help get that out there. And don't be afraid to send it to me. We'll decide where it goes and what it does, but that way we can make sure our businesses are taking advantage of every moment that can help them with their workforce.
Yes, definitely. I'll get that sent to you today.
Perfect.
And then I'm sure we could accept any late registrations due to that.
Okay, perfect. That would be great. Then I'll get that to them right away. And we'll get it on the calendar for you guys too.
Thank you.
Is there quite, I know that there's a few of us, Dave's kind of gone quiet because he's got a problem with his bandwidth and his sound. So he's there. Any questions from those here regarding this information? I've talked to Susanna and Teri quite a few times. We really enjoyed our conversation over lunch with Susanna, and probably about 10 businesses that came and asking questions. How did the businesses take advantage of this? I think sometimes we think WorkSource Oregon is the job seeker, and only the job seeker, whereas in fact, that WorkSource Oregon is there just as much for the businesses who are seeking qualified and we'll just leave it there, qualified workforce. And so they do a screening process. They help you with that process, and it's no cost to the businesses. So it's something we should be more hand in hand and taking advantage of. And Teri's programs that she's talking about, her and Misa, there's so many things there that the businesses could be working hand in hand, giving people an opportunity, but also an opportunity for the businesses with the different credits and the different things that can be advantage to the businesses. Phil, I saw you start to raise your hand.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to us and the work you're doing. Have to go back maybe a decade now. I was teacher at Norcor Juvenile for a minute. That was 9 years. And one of the things I did there that the kids really got excited about was, what's it called? What's the test you need to work in a restaurant? Your culinary certificate, it's something like that.
Food handler's card.
Yeah, food handler's
it.
card. That's it. And so we would work with food handler's card, and they could take the test. It was pretty easy, and then the jail paid for their license, and they got it printed out. And I could just watch them like, oh my gosh, okay, here's a pathway. Here's a way forward. Yeah, it was pretty motivational for them. I hear that, and maybe I'll get back to that. The people who are teaching at Norcor now in Juvenile have a much more developed program. They're working with carpentry skills and ag skills. It might be worth getting in touch with them. It's juvenile, so they are not hardened; they are soft. And I have a fondness for them. Last thing I would say, I have heard the reputation that Mod Pizza does a lot of hiring. Is that true? Okay, well, that explains all the tattoos. All right, okay.
They do.
Yeah, that's great.
In fact, I think they won something on a national level. Won an award because they're such advocates for workers who experience disabilities. Yeah.
Awesome. Any other questions? So Teri,
Well,
oh, go ahead, Scott. Go ahead.
just a question for my own information, and that is that I was reading about the great unretirement of older adults, particularly after COVID. Many older adults retired and then find out that a couple of years later that it's not as satisfying as they had thought and are interested in getting back into the workforce. They're maybe not be crazy enough to work full time, but to work part time. And so I hadn't even thought about using iMatch for those situations. Is that, I guess the question is, do you run into many people who had been retired and looking for part-time work? And also is an iMatch a useful tool for them to look for part-time work?
From what I've heard from our career services team, we do run into that a lot. And the reason iMatch Skills is useful is because any individual can go in, they set up their profile with their information, their work history, but they're also able to put in like the wages that they would like to make on the low end and high end and the hours they want to work. So they can put in, full-time, part-time, varies. We customize it to basically what they need in that moment. And when an employer enters a job listing, they run what we call a match. So they're entering their requirements, the job duties, the hours they need, the pay, same thing on another scale. And They run a match, and every individual that fits those qualifications and those hours and pay will come up. And that's how it's used as a recruitment tool. So if they are looking for someone that is just part-time, and the job seeker posts or lists that they're available part-time, they'll most likely come up and then have a higher chance of being called for that position.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And the best way to have anyone register is just having them come into our WorkSource Center here in the Dalles, and someone can guide them through it, and also show them how to utilize it to their best potential.
Yeah. I would also like to add that that's one of the biggest barriers that we see in Voc Rehab is that a lot of our folks are looking for part-time work because, and also the retirees that are coming back into the workforce are looking for part-time work. But of a lot of employers, it's hard for them to think outside of the box and say, oh, I can offer 2 part-timers a full-time position. And a lot of times, you know, it's difficult for us to find placement for people who want part-time. So I would say, speaking to employers, you know, if you have questions about doing part-time versus full-time, you know, reach out to Voc Rehab, reach out to the employment department, because we do have a lot of folks that are looking for that, and there's just not a lot of that out there available.
I have one more question. Are these services also available for people who are undocumented?
You do not need a social security number to register on iMatch Skills. However, an employer might require U.S. work authorization, but you do not need to be documented to utilize our services here at the WorkSource Center.
Okay. Thank you.
Misa, did we stop asking for documentation to be able to work? I don't remember. I'm thinking there was something like that, or did we just stop asking for social security numbers?
I would have to check, but what we've done here in
Uh-huh.
Central Oregon is that if we have somebody reach out for services that it is undocumented, which doesn't happen very often because typically they tend to steer clear of governmental agencies. But we work very closely with like the Latino Community Association here in Central Oregon. And so if somebody has a need like that, we definitely get them in touch with them so that that entity can work on getting that dealt with. I don't know that we would hold services, but like Susana said, a lot of employers have that requirement that they have to be able to work in the US. And so that is a hurdle that we would have to work on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, so Teri, as you are leaving our 2 counties, I'm sure Misa is going to be great. Anything, last words from you that you've worked with us a little bit, you've come over, you've worked with these 2 counties, anything that we should know that we can help support Misa?
Oh, good question. I think one of the most important things in the ways that you can support me, so to support businesses, is to invite her in to different spaces, different community events, because as I said, I look at my job as community building, and it isn't for me to go in and tell the Dalles how to build their community, right? But I can be useful I can, one, listen to what you all have to say, and two, give guidance and myth busting on working with people with disabilities that are already in your community, right? They're your daughter's coach's kid, right? We're not bringing people in just for this. So by hiring someone with disabilities, you are building your community. So yeah, invite her in. I feel like I was invited into a lot of stuff there. Unfortunately, I was unable to partake as much. I wish we had one of us in every community. I think it would be really valuable. But yeah, send out the invitations.
So make sure you watch our emails. We'll make sure you get on there so you can see our networking events, because our networking events are mostly businesses, but they're also open to everybody, not just chamber members. So we make sure that we're open for opportunities like this. So make sure that you, when you can, because I know you cover a lot of counties. So when you can, though, that would be something to look at. So I'm going to ask the same. Okay, go ahead, Scott.
Real quick, just to follow up on Terry, that I've coached Special Olympics for over 30 years, and many of the athletes I see, on a regular basis, working in Fred Meyer, Safeway, or um, Spookies, or one of the local um, establishments in town, and and also I have one of the athletes I coach. He's a volunteer at the Mid Columbia Senior Center, so they're very involved in the community and contribute to the community. And if you have any stereotypes about folks with, cognitive disabilities, I mean, th- you can't continue having those stereotypes if you meet the people that I've coached and are now working in the community. So, and they're fantastic workers. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. You do amazing work in our community. So I'm going to ask a similar question to Susanna. How can we better help our WorkSource Oregon? Because there are so many benefits. You guys are limited as to where you can be and how all you can do. They've changed so much, and we appreciated the time that WorkSource was actually a member of the chamber, but we know that has changed with so many aspects with some of the government agencies, but you're still a crucial partner here, right with your feet on the ground in our city. So how can we better help you so that we can get those benefits out there and people are aware of both the job seeker and the business?
Oh, thank you for asking. But you know what, Lisa, like you guys have already been such a great help, I think from the get-go, like just even understanding why we can't have a membership and our job center is constantly changing. And we're always trying to improve. But I think what has helped us the most is just even having our resource packets available for your new members. Um, I I have to do the outreach anyway. I still have to reach out to employers, introduce myself, and I'm finding that showing up to the events that you have scheduled, like the business after hours, the Wired with the Chamber events, those are just helpful alone. You're giving me the opportunity to show up and be there. And I have received calls from newer members that have reached out to utilize our recruitment services. So I can't imagine anything else you can do right now because you've done so much, and being willing to have the lunch and learn, and being able to introduce me to the business community. I think that the work isn't done yet. There are so many businesses we have to reach out to, but I know that I can go to you if I were to need anything at any day. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. And Misa, know that you can come and ask, email, Zoom with me. Whenever there's a need, just let me know. I know I need to still get back to Terry because she asked about a job shadow student, and I've been in and out of the office crazy for the past 2 months. So, but those are things that we're willing to do. We want to make sure that we're giving our workforce the best step forward, but also our businesses too. So please know that I am always a resource for you guys. And I appreciate all the work you do. It takes all of us. It takes us to be partners in this in efforts. And so I'm all about that. And I will make sure that our businesses know about the job fair. I'll email that off before I head to Maupin today, and then we'll do that. Anything else that we need to know? Besides that, it's a super amazing, gorgeous day outside, and I will now go drive to Maupin after I just did that drive yesterday, but it never gets tiring, so I will do that and meet with our Wasco County Economic Development Commission. So thank you, ladies, once again. And know that your work is important and that you're appreciated and we value you. And I will be in touch with you. And Misa, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be here when you come to introduce in person, but my staff, I have about 4 of them that will be here in my office, and they are looking forward to meeting you on my behalf. So meanwhile, there's this thing called Zoom. So don't be afraid to set up a time with me and we can powwow, brainstorm, and all of that, however we can do to best serve our community. So with that, everyone, have an amazing day. Please keep in mind tomorrow is First Friday in our downtown. There's all kinds of fun things planned. It looks like it's going to be. I haven't looked lately because I'm afraid to look at the weather reports. I think it's supposed to be fairly nice tomorrow. If not, wear a jacket, bundle up, network, and have fun. But that is happening tomorrow night for the Dallas community. So take care, everyone. And Teri, I'm wishing you the best, and you better not be a stranger, girl. Okay. All right. You guys take care.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Bye.